I got it. Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Colleen Meyer. Welcome to a brand new take with Michelle Petties and friends. Michelle is a speaker, food story finder, and author of a newly released book called Leaving Large. Michelle was a food addict and she lost and gained 700 pounds in 40 years, but she learned the secret to keeping it off by identifying her own food stories. Michelle, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Colleen. Just let me just say one thing. It was 40 years.
Oh, what
I
did I
mean,
say?
yeah, that was 700 pounds in 40 years. I mean that that 4 years that's ambitious for the rest of us. Oh, and here's Shanette. She's here. I was just hoping that
Hi.
we would make it. Yay! 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 Yay!
That's funny, Michelle.
So glad that you are here. So we're just at the beginning. Like Dr. Colleen, our producer and moderator extraordinary said, I'm Michelle Pettis. And if it's 7:00, it must be time for a brand new take. Every Sunday night we're here and we're telling the truth about why we eat what we eat. That's what we're pulling back the covers, right? We're raising our consciousness and we're making sure that we're eating for nutrition and nourishment. And if we have emotional demons that we are fighting and that we're struggling with, we don't use food for that, right?
Mhm.
We manage food and we have relationships with people, right? We go to people for joy, right? We get joy out of life. We go to people when we're lonely. We go to the people in our lives when we're frustrated. That's where we go. That's how we build relationship. So that's what we do here on Sunday night. And we do it with our nutritionist, our favorite nutritionist, Gina Cushionberry. She's got some great recipes for us tonight. So I'm really looking forward to it. She's had a couple of really good ones since we started the holiday season.
Uh-huh.
And then our special guest also, I'm so happy that you're back, Nat. Oh my goodness. So what we like to do, and we haven't really done it for a while, but I think we're going to get back on track with that. Is that we bring real life people. We bring real life people to tell their story about the journey, because so many times we get in a place when we think we're the only one, right? We think we're the only one, and it makes it harder. But when we have what I call angel warriors that surround us, that share their secrets, share their success, show us how to keep moving forward, that makes it so much easier for the rest of us. I'm on the wrong shoulder here. That makes it so much easier for the rest of us. And Shanette, you've been on the journey for a while. And in a second, I'm gonna have you just kind of give us an up to date. And for the people that are seeing you for the first time and that don't know your story, you can share that, and we can do that. So we're gonna keep the circle going. And what we normally do on Sunday nights, we break down our Monday dilemma, right? So Dr. Colleen has that. So should I call you Nett or Shanette? What should I call you?
You can just call me Net.
Okay, all right.
Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Oh, I love your accent. I think that's one of the reasons probably I loved you just like right away, because you got that Southern thing happening. I'm from the South too, so we like this, right? So we break down our Monday dilemma, and the Monday dilemma is everyday situations that we have to manage around food that sometimes catch us unaware. And these situations just bring it to the forefront that it's really not about the food itself, right? What it is about how we manage the situation and having a different perspective about it. So, Dr. Colleen, if you will do the Monday dilemma, we're gonna go around the squares and just weigh in on it.
Okay, so the Monday dilemma this week is you have decided to stop eating all sweets, especially sugars, food with refined sugars, excuse me. Your favorite aunt calls you and tells you she was thinking about you and she wants you to drop by and pick up your favorite special pie that she has made just for you. And we have another guest coming in, Michelle.
Okay. Oh, all right, Larae, you made it. Yes, yes, indeed. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
It is so good to see you. So Larae, you're in the middle. You're coming in the middle of we're doing our Monday dilemma. And what we do on with the Monday dilemma is every Sunday we have a food situation, right? Where you have to make a decision about to eat or not to eat or how not to eat. And this is an everyday situation that we face right on a daily basis or daily basis, yes. And really shine a light on the fact that it's not always about the food. It's not about the food, it's about the circumstances around the food that are guiding our decisions. So Dr. Colleen, if you'll start over with the Monday dilemma, Sean can weigh in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go around and everybody's going to weigh in, on the dilemma. And Nat, when you weigh in, we want to hear your story too, right? All right. Okay.
Michelle, do you want me to read a few of the responses too before everybody weighs in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you decided to stop
turn on
eating
lights here,
all
y'all.
sweets,
Sorry.
That's okay.
especially foods with refined sugar. Your favorite aunt calls you and tells you she was thinking about you and wants you to drop by and pick up your favorite special pie that she has made for you. And one of the responses we've gotten was no dilemma. Thank her and let her know the pie is not necessary. And another one is, can you say regift? You don't want to disappoint Auntie. Your office has reopened, or you have a neighbor you really like. Nothing wrong with sharing a little love and the pie.
Okay, those are some good answers. Those are some really, really good answers. All right. We've got another guest that's saying hello to us. Hey, Kenneth, thank you for joining in. Yes, indeed. All right. So I love that regifting. I love that regifting of the pie. But so many times you do think, all right. At least I used to think that if somebody made it for me, I was under an obligation to eat it, and that if they thought enough of me, right, and I wanted to please them, and I wanted to show my appreciation, that yes, I needed to eat it in front of them, just so they can see how good it was and how much I appreciated it. And these are shifts that we have to make. So would anybody like to volunteer and weigh in on the answer? We're just going to go around in the circle. Charlotte,
I'll weigh in on it. And I'm an avid believer in regifting. I work in an office, and so it's a gift that I would definitely accept graciously, and I would just take it into the office to share with my coworkers.
Yes.
So being from the South, there's not too many things that you turn down when someone is offering it to you. And there's so many other people that can enjoy it outside of myself.
Right. So, in addition to your answer, Net, would you share for the viewers and the rest of the team that might not know, because I think that when you were on before, we had a different crew, and share your story and share your journey and share kind of like your philosophy now at this
point. My journey started in 2019. It was before the holidays, maybe October of 2019, and I started to monitor what I was eating and just wanting to be on a better path of eating healthy and losing weight. And also I was had went to the doctor, and so he had told me that I was borderline some health issues, and so if I was to lose weight, it would help out with those things. And needless to say, I started. However, the pandemic hit. So at that time, I was going to the gym, and I had a trainer. And the pandemic hit towards March, and that's when everything shut down, and I was in full throttle with what I was doing. And after the pandemic hit, I started to go out and exercise on my own, and started to use YouTube to find different recipes and making a list of what I was eating, what I enjoyed to eat, making healthier choices, and just reincorporating different things into my diet. One of the things I did take on was a pescatarian diet. So right before the pandemic, I was advocate about eating this pescatarian diet. However, when the pandemic happened, it was so hard to find seafood.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really hard thing. We could not find it in Chicago. And so I would go to the grocery stores and they would tell me, oh, it would be months before we'll be able to get some fresh seafood in.
Right.
So I just started to eat a lot of turkey and chicken. So I just changed it from that. But I love these vegetarian meals that they have out now.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a vegetarian. However, I definitely love incorporating these meals as a portion of my food.
Mm-hmm.
And so during this time, so that was 2019 and when I started, and so far I've lost 75 pounds. And this is all through diet and exercise. And my exercise would consist of me walking. During the pandemic, when it first hit the hiatus of it, March until the following March, 7 to 6 days a week, 5 miles a day.
Oh, wow. So I have two questions for you. When the doctor told you that you had some health issues that were on the horizon, what went through your mind?
It was alarming to me. He was talking about diabetes, and it was alarming to me. I come from a family, a healthy family, actually. My grandparents and my grandparents lived to be 100 years old. My parents are 78 years old. My aunts are 80, and all of them, we have very good health conditions. So, and outside of that, I have no health conditions. So my thing was, I didn't want any.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start.
Yes.
It was alarming to me. So at that point, it was a way for me to figure things out. But what I love so much about this experience is initially my way of figuring things out was needing assistance from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found out, I was able to assist myself.
Yes. Oh, you know what I love about what you just said? What I love about this experience. And man, oh man, that phrase, that sentence really, I think, is at the heart of your success and successes that other people don't experience. And that is how you feel about what you're doing. You're in it, and you are loving the transformation. You are looking forward to whatever it is this on the other side. And when you approach an activity or process with that kind of mindset, it shifts what happens. It allows you to do it. It allows you to stay committed, as opposed to, oh, I'm on this diet, right? I can't eat that. Or, that stops you. That stops you on the track. And the fact that you are loving the process, man, Net, my wig's off to you.
And that's the whole thing about life too. Learning how to enjoy whatever process, wherever you find yourself, in whatever situation. So here I am in this situation, and how can I make this journey enjoyable for me, for my experience, so that it will continue? Mm-hmm. And I found that I took a love for walking, and I've never ran in my life. So I went out and I bought this cute outfit the day I decided I was going to start jogging. So I bought this cute, ordered it, and I put it on. And I left the house. I'm like, oh, I've been walking. I'll be able to jog. Went out the house and I jogged a half a block, and I was exhausted. And so I said, oh, I guess it's not as easy as I was thinking.
But you were cute.
What I started to do was, every single day when I would go out to walk those 5 miles, I would jog that half a block. Then the block turned into a full block, 2 blocks. So now I'm able to jog consistently without stopping 3 miles. So I can jog those 3 miles and then I'll walk the other 2.
Oh, what you just said is, to me, Net, is like the secret sauce, right? The secret sauce is to take a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time. Living life and taking this journey at your pace.
Yes.
What is best for me? What pace, what cadence do I need to take so that I will succeed in this moment?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, oh man. So answer me this. And you know, we're all off the dilemma, but I'm just so happy about your journey. How do you stay motivated? What keeps you motivated?
You know what? It's not seeing myself. I love the transition and what I see in myself, and it's encouraging to me. I've always thought I was relatively attractive, but when I started to lose weight,
Wait, right now, right? You can take that. You can take that relatively out. Right? I mean, give your permission. Give yourself permission to be the badass, beautiful slayer that you are. You can say that. That's all right. That's good. Yeah.
and yes, and when I start to pull off those different layers of myself, it was a new transition and a new me. I saw myself in a different light.
Mm-hmm. So
and I enjoyed also the heaviness that was lifted off of my body. The heaviness when I was walking on my knees and my legs, I felt lighter.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And you know what you do that is so powerful, and even how we got connected, that I wish more people did and understood the power, is you post the pictures. You take the pictures.
Yes.
And you can see the transition, right? You can see the transition, because what happens is sometimes if we don't take the pictures, if we don't document the experience, then we still have the old vision of ourselves in our head, and we can't even see where we're going, right?
Yeah.
But when you have the picture, it's just like writing it down. That makes it real, right?
Yes, that phrase is so true. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And
Yes.
It is.
So I could go on talking to you forever and ever. And we're gonna come back to you. But I think that we could go to Sean Larae, our new guest on the screen tonight. And I just want to just do a quick introduction of Sean Larae. She is a therapist. She's a therapist out of Los Angeles, right? Aren't you in Los Angeles?
Yes.
And we met virtually. We met virtually because her organization there, the Black Women's Network, reached out to me about their monthly meeting. Another one of their members saw me at the Las Vegas Literary Festival and said, why don't you come talk to us? We think we might want to hear what you have to say. And I'm like, okay, what are we talking about? And yesterday it was just thank you so much for having me. What a wonderful group of women. I cannot wait to come out there and meet you all.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. So Sean Larae and I started speaking, and I thought, oh my God, why don't you come on? Why don't you come on a brand new take? I think it would be a good fit for you. She has a new podcast coming out herself, and I think that there's some synergy. So we are all in this work together. This is an all boats rise situation, and we collaborate. We keep moving the train forward, and we just pull nuggets of information and inspiration. How about that? Information and inspiration wherever we can get them. So Sean Larae, if you want to, weigh in on the dilemma, or if you have some other things that you'd like to share with our viewers, we would love to have you do that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here, and so quickly. It was perfect, and thank you for yesterday. I definitely believe that when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive, and I think for so many of the women yesterday, you were just timely, so perfectly timed, and for myself included, I am a compulsive emotional overeater. And for a long time, I thought, oh, I'm cured because I lost over 120 pounds. It's like I'm cured, but no. I just didn't have anything going on. So there was no reason. And I had pretty much handled the happy eating piece, that I could eat when I was happy, but I could eat as though I loved myself and eating healthily and those kinds of things. And so the dilemma has been presented to me so often. Because as I mentioned yesterday, I grew up, love is food, food is love. And so it wasn't just family, but friends. And all of us kind of have that same kind of mentality that we must celebrate. It must include all these yummy, yummy, quote unquote, foods, but yummy, what does that really mean? And so I had started to really work on transitioning my thought process about what is yummy. So I started eating kind of like a vegan in many ways. And then I recognized that, oh, I got to pay attention to what I'm eating, because if it's sugary and chocolatey and yummy, there's something else I need to address. And so it would depend on where I am on the spectrum, how I would respond to the dilemma. So, so where I am today, right now, I would do like Net, and I would bring that thing to my office. But because now I have more people in the office, because for a long time it was just me. It's a brand new office. It's a brand new, it's an expansion of my business. But now I have this wonderful kitchenette that I can open it. It's pretty in there. It's got like all the accessories are red. So I can invite people to go in and get that thing. Go in and have a bite of that. Go in and, so that it doesn't all fall on me, because there's a time I would take that pie home and I would be very quiet about it, and I wouldn't tell a soul, and I would eat the whole pie and call and thank her and, accept the next one. So, when I'm in my healthy mind space and I'm thinking and behaving like the therapist that I am, and walking my walk and talking my talk. So in other words, living the way that I teach other people to live, then I'm good. I can either regift it or bring it in and let everybody else enjoy it. But I think for me, it's a definite telltale sign. The decision that I'm going to make is connected to the mental space that I'm in.
Yeah.
Yes. And what that looks like for me. I think for me right now, the teacher will appear, because right now I'm in a space of, I'm noticing the sugary things are happening, but I know that I just decided that I'm going to do surgery on my back. And what that's going to mean is that all the good work that I've done needs to double up. I need to release even more pounds before I go in to have this surgery, just for all the reasons. I have a history of atrial fibrillation, so that's an irregular heartbeat, and it's all electrical, but it certainly does well when I am doing well emotionally and physically, in the way that I'm eating and the way that I'm being during that whole transition and process. And so I want to walk into that operating room the way that I want to come out.
Yes.
So I want to go in healthy, come out healthy and well, and then heal, and be able to get back. I had a personal trainer, and in January I got COVID. And as you learned yesterday, Michelle, I think you were there, I'm not sure, but my husband and I both had COVID, and my husband passed away.
Oh, no.
From COVID. You weren't there when that went. Yeah, you didn't get to hear that. But yeah, and so that was in February of last year. And my husband was my very best friend. He was the best guy ever. And I'm so full of gratitude for having had him. But I'm recognizing that the last, it's so interesting how the journey goes, because at first I was eating very well after fast, and sometimes not at all. So not well in that way, because in the beginning I didn't eat at all. And people would have to call me and say, "Did you eat?" Or they would bring me food. "Did you eat it? We brought it. Did you eat it?" And that kind of thing. And then I decided I'm going to eat and be very well. And I've been managing it, but I recognize that it all comes in spurts. So now I'm in that spurt where everything is chocolate, and I'm like, okay, really going on.
Right.
Space. It's a new emotional space to kind of, tap into and connect. I think the best part about it is that I am very, very aware of what's happening. And that comes from my mindful practice, because I'm a mindful practitioner. And so I use that in my practice. I'm using it in my life. And so I need you, girlfriend. We're going to have that call, because I really feel like I'm at the point where it's not up to me anymore. I need help.
Yes.
I'm going to definitely need help to get me over this next hurdle.
Yes.
But I'm happy to be able to, to speak it and recognize it and know where I am in the journey.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that other girl again. I can't, my body can't. I'm 61, so I cannot carry all that anymore.
Right.
So I'm trying to have it. So, we get ready.
And that's what we are.
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's what we are for one another. We are what I call in my book angel warriors.
Yes, you said that yesterday. I love that.
The angels that are around you, that can see what you can't see, right? They can see it for you. That's why they're there, right? Hey, watch out for that. You see that?
Yeah. There's a wall over there.
Right. So sometimes we have blind spots. So Larae, thank you for that. I'm really glad of some of the things that you said, because I think this is a perfect time for our nutritionists to weigh in about the food stuff. I mean, like just like when you told me I was eating that apple because I was mad, right?
Well, you were a little bit.
That's real.
Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to piggyback on the whole dilemma first and say, I totally love the idea of regifting. I also would say my only extra step to that, what I would say is go ahead, accept it. And then maybe you don't have to let her know what you're doing right now, but you can just go ahead and tell her so that she doesn't bake you another pie later, and just say, hey, if it's your favorite auntie, you could be able to share that with her and tell her, hey, auntie, thank you. I think this is going to be my last pie, no matter, even if you're going to regift it, and let her know why. And then, so then you're not faced with that again, because sometimes too, that can just take the whole thing out. Because sometimes it might not make it to the, sometimes we go through that. So to just kind of take that extra step out, maybe that's something that I would add on to that for the dilemma this week.
I love that idea of telling her, auntie, I'm on this journey. But the piece that I would add or just say, think about is I'm not above throwing stuff away. Right. Because fundamentally, and it's not that I haven't had pies or cakes or anything like that, is that once you change how you view certain stuff, and you just don't even view it as food. If it's not good for me, it's not good for anybody else. And I'm not saying that people don't enjoy it, but I have taken stuff and just walked by the food stuff that I wasn't going to eat, didn't want anybody else to eat either, and just thrown it away. And that is a food story, right? That is a food story that we grow up with. We don't waste food. We don't throw away food. We work too hard in this house, right? So
children in Africa are starving.
Down around the corner, right?
That food isn't going to make it. That plate is not making it to Africa.
But all I'm saying is, but we have to recognize that even with that regifting it, is this underlying thing of not even wanting to treat it as the unnourishing thing that it is, right? Because somebody has spent money, somebody has spent time, somebody has poured love into it, and you don't want to dishonor that. That's kind of at the root of it, right? Even though you look at it and that what do we pray? Thank you, Lord, for this food, for the nourishment of our body. There's nothing nourishing in there, right? But we still want to hold on to it because we have this very strong story that is gripping us. This is we can't throw it away, right? Until we look at it and see it for what it is. So the way to kill the desire, right? The way to kill the desire, and if you don't have the desire for something, you don't have to use willpower. If you don't have desire, you don't have to use self-control. If you don't have desire for it, right, you don't have to use any of that knuckle biting hand, that you can just you look at it and you don't feel anything. So the process is for us to change what we see when we see these things that don't serve our body. So in the old days, you would look at French fries, right? If French fries were your thing, oh, that's something sweet. I'm not sweet, salty and greasy and crunchy, and it goes with a hamburger. And I love that. I'm gonna have it right now because it's so tasty. And we used to go have French fries all the time at McDonald's when I was a kid. That's what you see. And so you want that, right? But if you look at French fries now and you say, you know what? There ain't nothing good about it. I don't know where that oil came from. I don't know where the potatoes came from. You know, it is not going to do anything for me that advances the body that I say that I want. So when you look at it, even though in heaven, as old as I am, haven't I had enough French fries? Do I need another one really? Right? So when we look at this food that doesn't serve us, we have to see something else. We have to create another picture of what we have seen in the past. And if we create this picture that is, for lack of a better word, distasteful, then we don't have desire for it. You don't even have
you have to, and I think it's a progression too, because some people aren't going to be ready to do that. But I think you have 3 different steps here that you can take. You've got the regift, and then you've got the regift and tell the auntie, and then you've got the I'm there. I'm blindfolds on trash.
You know? Oh yeah, you don't get there right away. Oh yeah,
right. You'll get, you build to it. Yeah. And I was gonna say, like, another motivator is just these 2 ladies here. I mean, when you see your results, like, you know, like not wanting to put that stuff back into your body. You both have had phenomenal weight loss achievement. I mean, Michelle too, and all of us had a little bit of weight loss, but you know, in the grand picture of it, we know at the end of the day, and I think when you get to that point and you see the results, you just no longer, it's just not desired, you know, and you get there, and I don't want to lead anybody to think like, you know, like, oh, just throw it in the trash, but you know, but you'll get,
it's a process.
You get there in steps, and then when you're there, you'll be right where Michelle is. I'm the same way, but it took me a minute to get there to where now there's just no chance I'm gonna eat it. This is not,
because it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything to you, right? And a lot of times people have a problem with the language, right?
Yes.
The language with what you tell
somebody,
or whoever it is that's giving you this wonderful thing. And for a long time, I thought it was about them. I thought it was about them. And then over time, I realized it was about me and my own ability to say no. Right. And how I don't want to hurt their feelings. So you kind of, like you said, Gina, you kind of, you ease into it. So, you know, the formula that I used initially was compliment, 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 compliment. Oh my God, this looks wonderful. It smells delicious. It's love. Oh, and then delay. Maybe I'll get it a little later. Even though in my mind I plan on never having it, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. So I want to just like, oh, you're so fabulous. It smells so good. And and then they're not feeling anything. And then I'm going to take this with me and delay it, or I'll get some a little later. They forget, and then it's all good. And then at some point, you get to the point. I got to the point where I didn't need that for myself to feel comfortable to say no. It just became no, thank you.
Yeah,
well, that's all right, right? But it was me. It wasn't them, right? And you can say that and not hurt. Oh, are you sure you don't want any? No, I'm sure. Because here's the flip side, right? If we look at it, whatever it is, and imagine it as being something, I don't know, nasty. Right, something that we wouldn't want anyway. We wouldn't have a problem figuring out how to say no. Right, right. If we saw a cat walking on the table, oh God, no.
Oh, no. No, thank you. I'm good.
But it's all.
I just want to, if I could share, when I think, and I often think of this, and this also helps me to stay or to regain my footing when I lose it. And I remember my bottom, the day that I made the decision that I have to make a change. And I just started actually sharing this truth, this story. And that is when I recognized why I was eating had nothing to do with hunger. It had nothing to do with anything. And it had more to do with sadness and disappointment and fear and anger and hurt and pain and all of that. And that's when the first thing I did is, instead of getting ice cream, I got a pint of yogurt, and I just had a little bit. But by the end of the evening, I had eaten all of the yogurt, and it wasn't ice cream. So that had nothing to do with taste.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then when I had something yummy and I decided, no, you're going to throw it away, and I put it in the garbage, and I went back and got it.
Yes. Yeah.
I was standing there at the garbage can about to walk away and eat that thing, and I just started crying.
Yeah.
I just burst into tears. I was like, girl, this is all messed up right here. What is really going on?
Right.
And that's when I made the decision that I have to release this emotional, mental bondage that I'm in. I had to release that so that I could release the extra poundage I was in.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the heart of it. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
That you got to do. We see this thing. At least I see this thing all the time that says it's 80%. It's 80% what you eat, and then it's 20% the exercise. 80-20, right? The Pareto principle. And I see that, and I say, before you can get to that 80-20, you got to do the 100% mental first.
Yes.
It is 100% mental first that gets you up off the sofa, right? You have got to do that, because otherwise you will always be in battle. You will always be fighting if you don't get in alignment. If your mind, your body, and your spirit, if that's not in alignment, then you will always feel like you're dieting. You will always feel like you're struggling. You will never have peace.
And let me say something to that and that I agree with that wholeheartedly. Before I started my weight loss journey, I went through a mental and emotional journey for myself. Let me heal everything that is within me. Let me learn how to find my peace and my center. And knowing these things and accomplishing that goal allowed my weight loss journey to be easier also.
Oh God, yes.
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 Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So Ned, I want to ask you this. Do you find, or have you found that throughout that things shift, right? That your mental place has changed along the journey, that it's like that. And I don't know if growth is the right word, but I
think it's growth. I think it's maturity. And I love when she said knowing how to say no thank you, or explaining them to your family, to who's made this dessert, to say, oh, thank you, but this is where I am right now. And and years before, that's not a conversation that I would have had. It's so taboo sometimes to talk about weight.
Yes.
We feel so uncomfortable about our own selves, and we can't share with other people the desires of our hearts and what we're trying to do. And having that understanding helps so much, and that growth and maturity. Yes, so I am completely at a different space.
Yes. And that is why I am so resolute, I guess, about this whole journey not being about a relationship with food. Why I don't say it, why I don't want people to say it, why I don't want people to be confused, that we manage food, we have relationships with people. And that is the thing. That's what this journey is about. It is about us developing a stronger relationship with ourselves, so we can have stronger relationships with people, and moving food to the side and keeping it in its proper perspective, and not looking for food to give us the emotional that we should get from people. That's what this is about. It's not using food as a substitute for relationships. And that
I loved when you said that yesterday. That just blew my mind. Like, that was like, because I've always said I'm working on changing my relationship with food. And when you said that, I was like, but
yeah.
and I love that you back it up with the understanding quickly that no, you have relationships with people, you manage your food.
Right.
And that just opened, I think that like blew the lid off of the whole meeting yesterday when you said that. Because to me, it just, I was like the angels saying, you know how you can hear the angels singing, that's when you get it. I can hear them going, wah! You know, I was like, oh my
But
God,
you know
oh my
what,
God.
Michelle, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But here's what the thing is about that is that people say it all the time, right? Yeah. People say it all the time, and we nod all the time. And here's the other thing that people say all the time, and we don't pull the covers back on. I'm an emotional eater. People will say I'm an emotional overeater, and just put it out there and just like leave it. And okay, then, but the next question, right, is why?
Yeah.
Why do you think food can do something other than satisfy hunger? Where does that come from? We say I have a trigger. Oh, that's my trigger. Why is that the trigger? We don't go to that next place. And going to that next place is where the power is. That's where the answer is. That's where the peace is. That's where the work is. Is that okay? But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that people don't tell you. Everybody eats emotionally. Everybody. Even if you don't think you eat emotionally, you do. The problem for us that that had challenges, right? They were obese, overweight, is that we were emotional overeaters, which you said earlier, Larae. Yes. Oh, but here's the other thing. Everybody eats for an emotional reason. And here it is. It's fear. It's fear. Is that if you don't eat, right? If you get hungry and you don't eat, you don't get enough food, you are going to die. And unless you've made your peace with God and you want to go to heaven right now, you're not ready for that, right? So the motivation is fear. And you may make some healthy choices. You might not overeat, but that is the underlying reason. That is the underlying reason for eating. It's like fear. I don't, that's it. So, and nobody says that. Nobody talks about that. But that's what it is. Wow. What a wonderful, way past that time. What a wonderful conversation tonight. I want to thank all my warrior angels, my angel warriors tonight for being here. Thank you for your insight, for your contribution. And what I do want us to do before we close down the evening is I want to give everybody an opportunity to let any viewer know how they may contact you. Gina, give us your information. And we need to do your recipe. We need to do your recipe this week.
Her recipe's out. Yes.
Well, I did a quick one, and I did it for a reason while we're in the hustle and bustle. It's a quick meal. So it's a quick brown rice, black bean bowl dish that you can make. It has a little spinach, a little extra stuff in it. But it's one of those quick and easy. It can be a side dish. It could be a main meal, or you can add your protein to it if you want to have some additional protein. But it's also a good plant-based meal alone. So that's pretty much it about that. The other thing I do want to make a mention, I know with plant-based eating, some people ask me this a lot, that think about the fact that those are 2 carbs. It is brown rice and it is black beans. So when we're doing that, portion control is helpful. I always say so pick one gets a cup and one gets a half a cup. But so kind of measure it like that. But really think of the beans as your protein in this meal. So that's my tip on that. But it's a nice, quick, easy meal to make while we're quick, on the go, hustle bustle, and you can make a pot of it for the week.
Yes. And I still want us to do a soup thing, like a soup.
Yes.
Like soup trio.
I was gonna save the soup for the leftovers, but like after Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right.
We can make, but we can throw it in next week though. But you can, if you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram at Gina Trim Nutrition. You can email me at GinaTrimNutrition@gmail as well.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Then we're going to see you next week. Thank you for that. And Nat, do you want to let people know how they can find you and follow your journey and see your wonderful, beautiful, inspirational pictures? Because I'm telling you, I love to see you.
I love them too.
Thank you. So you can follow me on Facebook, and my name is Net. And you can follow me on Facebook. I'm often posting about my journey. Yes.
Yes. A beautiful journey it has been. And Sean Larae, if you want to let folks know how to find you, your email address, your website, and tell us about your exciting news too.
Okay. So you can find me on Facebook at Living Loved Healing. That's Loved Healing. Instagram, the same thing, Living Loved Healing. If you want to see me have fun, go to Sean Larae Brinkley on Facebook because that's where I have all the fun. And then on Instagram, I do a mindful minutes. And so I talk about mindfulness and how we can relate mindfulness to all areas of our lives. And then on my website.
On Instagram, can people find out about your practice and getting in touch with you as well? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you the website too. I have two websites, so I'll give those. My therapy website is livinglovedhealing.org. And I'm also a transformational performance coach. So my coaching website is livinglovedcoaching.com. Okay. And lastly, the most exciting thing is that I am launching my podcast. It's visual and audio podcast on Wednesday, the 17th at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 8:00 Central and 9:00 Eastern. And it's called Boss Talk. And Boss is BOSS, bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. So you'll be hearing about the amazing things that mostly women and a few good men are doing, and be inspired and motivated and coached and loved up on. So thank you.
That is good stuff. Thank you so much. And
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, please. And you are welcome back anytime. You know where to find us. We'll be here at 7 o'clock every Sunday night. And I do just want to say that anybody that is ready for Leaving Large, the stories of a food addict, it's out, right? The ebook is out, right? You can pre-order it now. But I want you to wait. Who says that? I want you to wait, because here's what I'm going to do. And I'm announcing it here for the first time on a brand new tape. Is on the 30th of this month, on the 30th of November, between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm having a 99-cent download sale, right? I'm having a 99-cent download because anybody that wants this message needs to be able to get it. And plus, I want to get my Amazon rankings up. I want to get my best-selling rankings up. For real. But so I'll be sending out the promo just to pass it around. Wait for that 2-hour window. Download it for 99 cents. Leave me a review, right? And between now and then, if you want to pre-order the book, you can pre-order it. I have a personal website, author website. How about that? MichellePettis.com. We can order it at leavinglarge.com as well. I'll be waiving the shipping, but we're gonna. Y'all, I cannot believe it is now the work is really beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Who knew? You know, first I thought it was writing it, and then I realized that, oh no, then it's going to take it took a year to edit it. But you know, we're in this thing for the long haul, and what I hope is that anybody that reads it, that these stories, that they can transform and change their lives like they did mine. Because they made all the difference for me, and I hope that they will for someone else. And with that, I want to thank Dr. Colleen, producer, moderator extraordinaire. I want to thank you for joining us tonight on A Brand New Take. All my wonderful guests, love you all, Angel Warriors. Hope to see you all again sometime very soon.